Alexis.
Thanks, Carlos. We have breaking news to report. We have reports of a shooting on Fifth Avenue near the Lucky Wishbone restaurant. KTVA 11's Bonnie Bowman is on the scene, and we will bring you more information as it becomes available.
Once again, we are following some breaking news. This is a shooting in the area of Fifth Avenue near the Lucky Wishbone restaurant.
Bonnie Bowman shows us live near Fifth Avenue.
Joe and Alexis, we are here at 5th and Carluck Street, where just moments ago it appears two people were shot in the parking lot. We arrived shortly after the police and paramedics here on scene. We saw one ambulance drive out of the parking lot as paramedics were loading a second victim into the other ambulance. Now, we have no official comment yet from police on the scene, but I spoke to two witnesses who were parked just feet from where the shooting appears to have happened. They told me they heard 8 to 10 gunshots and looked over, startled by the noise, thinking it could even be fireworks. That's when they saw a man in a black hooded jacket run over the snowbank, and then he disappeared across 5th Street. They actually drove over here to see what had happened. They told me they saw a tent set up in what appeared to be a camp, but they didn't see any victims, so they drove back over to the other side of the parking lot. They told me that's when police and ambulances started arriving and they realized what had happened. They told me they saw the two victims immediately pulled from that camp and loaded into the ambulances, which is when we arrived on scene. Now, there's also a Sugar Shack coffee shop here, and they were telling me they have a security camera that's pointed right in this direction. So they're hoping that some of that surveillance photo might capture what went on here today. Now, the witnesses that I spoke to told me that they were scared by what they heard and what they saw when the police pulled the victims out, and that it's unusual for something like this to happen in Anchorage. We are still here on scene. We're going to try and talk to the police as soon as they are finished securing the scene here at 5th and Carluck. Reporting live, Bonnie Bowman, KTVA 11 News.
All right, thanks, Bonnie. At least one person has been confirmed dead in a shooting that happened in downtown Anchorage near Lucky Wishbone.
Bonnie Bowman is live at 5th Avenue in Carluck with more details. Bonnie, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Joe and Alexis, I just spoke to police officers a few minutes ago, and they told me there are 3 confirmed victims from the shooting, not 2 like we thought earlier. One of those victims has been pronounced dead. The other one has life-threatening injuries, and the third victim has non-life-threatening injuries. Police tell me they are mounting an all-out effort to find the man they believe is responsible for this shooting. They have got canine teams, SWAT teams, and detectives combing the area around 5th Street looking for that man. Now, I spoke to a few witnesses earlier this evening who told me they heard 8 to 10 gunshots around 6 o'clock when this shooting happened. They told me they looked over when they heard the noise, startled by what they heard, and saw a man in a black hooded jacket running over the snowbank here. He crossed 5th Street and disappeared into the city. They told me they drove over here to look and see what had happened, and they saw what they thought to be potentially a homeless camp in the trees back over there where the crime scene tape is. They told me they didn't see any victims and actually didn't realize what had happened until police and paramedics arrived on the scene. Things have calmed down a lot now. All of the ambulances are gone and the police are here investigating, and we're hoping to find out more about what may have led to the shooting, and we'll also be tracking their efforts to find the man that they believe is responsible. So we'll bring you more as soon as we have that information. Reporting live, Bonnie Bowman, KTVA 11 News.
Of course, we'll stay on top of this, have any new details on this, the suspect, the shooter in the case. Definitely. As soon as we get that information, of course, new details at 10 o'clock as well.
We'll have that on KTVA Nightcast. So.
A triple shooting leaves 2 people dead. I'm Bonnie Bowman. I'll have the latest live from the scene.
First tonight, word from police in just the last hour that a second person has died from a shooting. Right now, Anchorage police are hunting for the killer who shot 3 people in all along one of the city's busiest streets. KTVA 11's Bonnie Bowman has been following the story from the beginning. She is live at 5th and Carluck with the latest. Bonnie.
Joe, I am here at the site where police say earlier today one man shot 3 people. The crime scene team van has arrived. They got here about 9 o'clock this evening. Investigators are poring over every inch of this crime scene as we speak, looking for evidence that could lead them to the shooter. But APD tells me they are using every available resource to try and find the man who's responsible for murdering 2 people. It's an all-out effort. Canine teams, SWAT, detectives, and officers are on the hunt for the man they believe is responsible for shooting 3 people at 6 o'clock this evening. catching the shooter is top priority.
It's very concerned. Obviously, it's a public safety issue. We don't want anybody else to become a victim.
The shooting shook up two witnesses parked nearby when it happened. They asked us to conceal their identities to protect them from harm, but say they heard 8 to 10 shots.
The wind muffled it, so it kind of sounded strange, almost like fireworks. And then I told her, I wonder if that was shots.
They then saw a man run over a snowbank and across Fifth Avenue.
We're like, I wonder if something happened. I wonder, could he have shot somebody?
They didn't realize what had happened until police and paramedics arrived.
Hoping that it wasn't gunshots, we pulled back out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the police come and we're like, oh gosh, we were just there.
The first responders pulled 3 victims from a tent set up in a wooded area next to the parking lot. One was pronounced dead at the scene. Another died at the hospital. The third victim had non-life-threatening injuries. A scary ordeal made all the more frightening by the knowledge the shooter is still out there.
My heart's racing. It's scary to actually be near something like that.
Now, police say the fact that the shooting took place in daylight hours in a busy area makes this case unusual. We do have a suspect description for you. Officers are looking for a man about 5'8" in height with a regular build. He was last seen wearing a black jacket with stripes along the back. Anyone who's seen somebody matching this description is asked to call APD. Now, officers tell us they were able to see some surveillance video from a nearby business, but they say that was not helpful in figuring out who the suspect is. They're asking any of the other businesses in the area if they have surveillance cameras. Please let officers know so they can check out that video and try to identify a suspect. Reporting live in Anchorage, Bonnie Bowman, KTVA 11 News.